Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, what are we going to be talking about?
We are covering horror and the Oscars and the connection between the two.
And the lack thereof of connection between the two.
That as well.
But first, what would we like to let anyone new to our channel know?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty please.
You can find us on Spotify,
Yep.
Apple,
Yep.
Google,
Yep.
and Anchor.
We're available on all of those.
We are. Also on Instagram, J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every Thursday. Minus some that, I'll just admit it. I needed a mental break, man. I was going through a lot of shit last week, and I needed a week off, man. And luckily Jake agreed. But here we are back at it again, sticking with our themes, and we're covering something that I am very interested in talking about, and I think Jake is too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like horror gets completely, I think I mentioned it some on the Marvel versus horror episode.
Mm-hmm.
How horror isn't taken as seriously in a lot of worlds. Not worlds.
In all different universes and worlds. And
in the multiverse. Yeah, no, I just really, do you have anything in particular that stands out that, like, you feel like horror was completely, like, left out on when it comes to the Oscars and horror, like a year, a movie, anything like that?
Not necessarily a particular movie, but I do have, a couple of...
Go ahead, break that
from the topic,
out, baby.
A couple of quick facts. Give me a second here, guys. All right. I also have terrible handwriting, so...
All right, let's work through this with him, guys.
All right, so... Research I had. So from 1927 to 2020, there were only 6 horror movies that were nominated for Best Picture.
How many of those won?
1.
Which was?
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, that won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you guess the other 5?
The other 5 horror movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least I'll try to. I'm definitely gonna go with Misery.
No.
I thought you said Misery was. Damn it.
No, not for Best Picture.
Oh, Best Picture.
Yeah.
Exorcist.
Yeah.
Okay. Hereditary?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Us.
No.
Frankenstein.
No. You were on a Jordan Peele thing there.
Well, it just popped. I know. I got distracted.
You were almost there with Jordan Peele. Get Out?
Get Out?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Didn't win, but it's nominated.
Obviously.
And I'll get the other ones.
Yeah.
The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Black Swan.
Black Swan is not a horror movie.
And the horror classic, Jaws.
Wait a fucking second. Hold the fucking phone. Did you just say Natalie Portman, Mila Kunis, ballerina movie is a horror film?
There's horror. I feel like there's a big horror connotation to it, yeah.
The fuck there is. That is purely mental.
See, I'm glad you brought that up.
That is purely mental.
So historically, with a lot of horror movies, and I think it was Eli Roth that said it, how when certain movies hit like a psychological type of thing,
Yeah.
they're horror movies at their core, but people put them in the thriller context.
Yeah, because of we circle back to your argument of the fear aspect.
There's fear in Black Swan.
The fuck there is. I'm scared of the mom. That's it.
There's fear in Black Swan.
No, there isn't.
None. So nothing but that movie is scary to you at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Now, there are different... Okay, so now we're confusing fear with scary.
What?
Scary in the sense of like, damn, she's kind of crazy. And scary in the sense of like, I don't quite understand this. But I'm never like fearful. I'm never like, I don't feel fear. But I can understand like how freaky it would be if I was Natalie Portman's character in that movie.
Yeah, sort of fearful for her and the characters around her.
But it's not like you feel like she's going to get stabbed at any point in time.
That is the only reason.
I was just using it as an example, dick.
Okay. All right. I was about to say, what?
No, not every horror movie needs a stab victim, but I would like there to be. Okay.
All right.
So that was your whole sheet?
That was one of them.
Okay, one of them. So I still can't get over the fucking fact that they consider Black Swan horror. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. What you fans think. Does Black Swan, that's the Black Swan we're talking about, right? Natalie Portman, Mila Kunis, ballerina movie.
Yeah.
Do any fans out do you consider it horror, or were you just going off of your list? Like I'm taking your little fucking sheet.
Yeah.
And right now, or last week, I'm like, hey Jake, we should cover Black Swan on the podcast. What would your answer be?
Yeah, let's do it.
Huh? You're telling me right now, before you read that little factoid,
If someone
you
said to me,
thought Black Swan was a horror film?
it has horror connotations to it, yeah.
Stop with the fucking connotation words, bro.
I would never stop with the connotation words.
Stop.
No.
I feel like I'm fucking the boomer right now.
Good.
And I'm mad. Dude, Black Swan is so not a horror film.
So it's a thriller.
Yes.
Nothing horror related at all.
Nope.
So The Shining is thriller too?
No, it has ghosts and like possession. Jack's character was possessed by the Overlook Hotel. And the twins, the weird dog head scene, the fucking maze, the fucking old lady in the tub.
I mean, for all we know,
Dude.
A lot of those things could have been just images in Jack's head.
Or
In the Black Swan, wasn't there things that she was seeing or things she was feeling that weren't really there?
it depends on like
Depends on what?
your depiction of the movie.
Nope.
I do believe it. Okay, so the thing that Black Swan, this is fucking turned into
is
a
not
Black Swan episode, but I'm very pissed that you were okay with Black Swan being included in the horror realm.
There are lots of movies.
Okay,
As I always say, it's an umbrella. That's all.
that should not be in the horror umbrella, man.
Okay.
Maybe I haven't seen it in a while,
Maybe you should watch it again.
but to me, it was just like a cuckoo lady that wanted to be a big ballerina.
Okay. All right.
All right. So go ahead with sheet number 2. Because this is your episode, buddy. You did all the research.
Well, now we're on sheet number 2.
Go for it.
Of 2. That's all I got after this. So.
All right.
Not a lot of research. Thought the conversation would go a little further before I brought the next fact up. Actually, no. I will.
I couldn't keep talking about the Black Swan.
I'm sure you could have actually.
I really could have. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Since I mentioned The Shining.
Yeah.
Director Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
From 1960 to 1987, every movie he directed was nominated for an Academy Award, except The Shining.
Okay. That really feeds into our episode.
Yeah.
So this is where the episode almost gets started. Now, mind you, I haven't done the proper research to drop like what won instead of, which I'm sure we could probably do on the fly if we so chose.
Yeah.
I don't think it's relevant. It doesn't matter what one.
It is relevant, but
it is relevant.
I get what
but
you're
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily take away from the points we're trying to make. Because I'm not saying that there is a single Friday the 13th or Halloween movie that should be nominated for Best Picture or Best Actor or Best Actress or Best Supporting Actor or Actress. I am A-okay with that fact. I truly am. Those movies are not known for their amazing acting.
yeah. So those aren't ones I'd even consider.
But there are other things that they could be considered for in the Oscars, just not best of acting or supporting.
Like what?
I honestly feel like directing, cinematography, and makeup. I feel like those are the three categories where horror gets left out of most.
Well, those are the ones they usually tend to win in.
Horror doesn't.
Well, the few times they have won, it was for like best effects,
yeah,
makeup,
yeah,
and like original score.
Ooh, okay.
So like Jaws,
score.
One for score.
Had to have won score.
And think like best edit.
Okay.
Yeah, they won for best edit.
Some of those are like
original
above
score.
my pay grade, like of understanding. Like how the fuck do you get? Like, all movies have to be edited to a certain caliber for it to work.
Yeah, that's just like
so. Like, I don't know what to look for in a best edit. Whereas, like for me, I feel like horror gets left out of a lot. Is the costume?
Oh, speaking of which, costume. So I think it was Bram Stoker's Dracula
with Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
yeah.
They won for best costume design.
So there are some.
Yeah.
So it's not zero.
Yeah, it's not zero.
It's just it should and could be higher.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean it should be higher, but I feel like best costume design. I mean, all the actors they had in that movie, they went for best costume.
That's a very good point.
So that's what you.
wait. You're telling me you got Gary Oldman, you got come on, Winona Ryder, and some other people.
Anthony Hopkins,
who has won in the horror genre.
And you're like, but these fucking costumes.
I will say this: Gary Oldman gets shit on. Yeah. He is one of my all-time favorite actors, especially in Leon the Professional. Oh, crack that pill. Oh, so good. But this is a horror podcast. We get in trouble if we talk too much about one thing or the other. All right. So
with who?
Remember your mom got mad at us?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I can't piss off Mama Dukes, man.
Sorry, guys.
All right, but there's one movie. I thought, and this is when I told you outside that a TikTok fucking made me want to talk about this more. And you know how much I've wanted to talk about this before.
I do.
This one fucking TikTok just was sent to me by my friend Veda, and she was like, boom. And I was like, holy fucking shit. All right. So we're talking current movies.
Correct.
We're talking Jordan Peele.
Got it.
You're telling me
I
can't pronounce her name.
Okay.
But the main fucking character in Us did not fucking deserve an Oscar?
She did, and was not nominated for one at all for that year, or that movie at all.
Exactly. You're telling me not only do you pull off one character perfectly, you pull off the opposite of that character perfectly, and you're not even fucking nominated? Now, with that being said, the Oscars have been in some hot water for some other things, but we try not to get too political.
True.
On the J Squared Horror Podcast.
But she also has won an Oscar.
I know, deservingly so in the genre that she was in.
Yeah.
But that was damn near perfect acting, playing like it just doesn't make sense how you can find that as an actress, but to do it in the same movie.
Well,
because there's other doppelgangers in that movie, but they're side characters.
Yeah.
So you have to pull off both perfectly, or that movie doesn't work. That whole movie, the success of Jordan Peele's idea was one actress doing her job perfectly twice.
I mean, it's just It's just the genre. A lot of genre movies, they do kind of struggle. 'Cause, I mean, a lot of times when you think movies that win Oscar, you got like Gone with the Wind or The Sound of Music, and just they're these are older movies, but you get what I'm saying.
Ooh.
That's the boomer in me, I
guess. Yes. I love when you admit it.
But yeah.
I mean, yes, like you could then say,
Yeah.
well, Christmas movies aren't fucking nominated for nothing. Yeah,
Who's ever said that?
I'm just saying, if you want to argue our point, what are you saying? Like rom-com should win more? Like, what do you mean? Every movie falls into a genre.
Okay, so
It's like, what do you mean by genre specific? Like,
like a movie comes out and it's a science fiction movie. Movie
Yeah.
comes out, it's a fantasy movie. Movie
Yeah.
comes out, it's a horror movie. Movie comes out, it's a war times movie.
Yeah.
They have like certain genres. Then there are some movies who win who, like, for example, I hate to see it again, like Gone with the Wind. It's like a movie. It's not. There's
romance.
This romance, but it's not like a rom-com. It's not a romance movie. It's a movie with different arches that you can go throughout the movie.
Yeah. I mean, most movies are gonna roller coaster your feelings. You know, You know, most. I didn't say all. I said most.
I don't even agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, I could even pull up. I can even drop some rom-coms in here, and there's some real good ones.
Like what?
When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
Is the greatest romantic comedy of all time.
The greatest?
Hands down.
Okay.
It's perfection. But I feel like maybe there should are we the problem for thinking that the Oscars are even like worthy of our genre? Because the Oscars, like I said earlier,
Or for movies.
I know, but I'm saying like the Oscars have their own issues.
True.
So like maybe it's an insult. No, it can't be an insult to win an Oscar.
No, not an insult to win an Oscar, but that's one of the highest achievements in your field.
I know, but like if you make horror, like you just you got to win like a spooky. I'm sure they have something.
I mean, yes, I guess you got the Grammys for music, Oscars for movies,
And just the spookies.
Spookies.
for all the spooky people.
I saw somewhere it was like George A. Romero, Jamie Lee Curtis, John Carpenter, and a few other people have a combined 0 nominations for
Anything.
Oscars ever.
That's insane. They have been masters at their craft for 40 fucking years,
But your
if
craft,
not longer.
Your craft is horror, and horror
Doesn't get nominated.
it needs to be, off the list that I had, more psychological.
Yeah.
Only thing that's not is Jaws.
I don't know, man. It's pretty psychological. You have to convince yourself that it's a horror movie every time.
But the other ones that were nominated, they were all psychological.
Like,
thrillers.
yeah, super psychological.
Which is what Eli Roth said. These movies at their core, if we take out Black Swan, that's fine.
Please.
At their core are horror movies.
Yeah.
But in order to be taken seriously, they need to have
real?
Like
a real aspect.
Correct.
It can't be real in the sense of just like we can obviously talk about slashers. Like slashers could fucking happen.
100%.
Like like it's just a serial killer with like amazing abilities.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Just a serial killer with a mask on.
Yeah,
in a lot of cases.
It's and like so the point I was making in Marvel versus horror when we did that episode was obviously the fact that these people are masked. These people have superpowers, and they're still fucking counted for some shit. But it boils down. It boils down to the fact that fucking kids and families can watch it. But the Oscars, like, I can understand numbers. Like, the numbers part, I understand.
What do you mean?
Like, box office.
Okay.
I can separate box office success easily.
I cannot.
Because it's asses and seats, dude. If you have a family of 4, right? A husband, a wife, and 2 children, and you go see a PG-13 horror movie. Not horror movie. Action movie.
Okay.
Or a superhero movie. That is 4 seats. 4 tickets. That same couple could only do 2 in horror, because a lot of times they're PG-13 and they're bad, or they're rated R.
That same couple can have someone babysit their kids and grab two of their friends. And
Yeah,
and
I
was
mean, I get that. I'm just saying, like, realistically speaking, like, the asses and seats theory makes sense. So if you can just grab you don't have to get a babysitter. You don't have to do none of that. You just fucking shut up. We're going to go see Iron Man. I've been watching this since I was your age. But you can't do that and be like, shut up. I'm taking you to see Halloween Kills and you're just going to fucking sit there. You get frowned at. You're like, dude, you can't go take. Like, if you walk up to the ticket booth and you got a fucking 6-year-old with you, like, 2, please. They're like, I mean, they can't technically say no, I don't think, because you are the adult.
So take my money, give me my tickets. We're going in. But they also mentioned, too, how a lot of things that come into play are the popularity of that movie.
Yeah.
And the movie that money makes.
Into the Oscars?
Yeah.
I thought the Oscars was just a group of people that were like, or is that the Academy Awards? Am I mixing shit up?
I think it's the same thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Plus, you know,
I thought it was just a group of people that were like, we vote this movie the best.
Yeah. So when Jordan Peele won his Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
That is quite the honor.
There were a lot of people in the Academy who were like, nah, it's a horror movie. I'm good.
What?
But luckily, the majority was like, yeah, this is a good fucking movie.
Yeah. And that was
Get Out.
Get Out. That is a good movie.
Which is the fact that
But if you look at Jordan Peele's movies, that is his least horror-specific movie.
Yeah. Which is why he won an Oscar for it.
It's not his best either.
But Get Out has that psychological.
It's super psychological, man. And I talked about it last week. Or not last week, last episode. Where I said, like, psychological should be making a bigger push. But, like, it's the combination of psychological and horror that I think a lot of people enjoy, which is why Jordan Peele's success has been a lot of what it has been. Like, he's able to... And I really think Jordan Peele's able to bring stuff out of actors that you just... Like, other directors just can't. Like, that should speak for itself. But Jordan Peele shot himself in the foot when he decided to become a horror movie director. He would probably have... at least 2 Oscars.
I mean, he got his Oscar. I think he's good.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, he may get another one.
I hope so.
If he does some other type of psychological, but if he does anything like Us again, or any slasher type shit.
Us is better than Get Out.
Something like with a monster, he's not going to win.
I mean, nope. It was a great movie. You haven't seen it yet. It's sitting right there for you to watch.
Steven Spielberg, who is obviously a big-time director.
Big-time director.
Directed Jaws. No Oscar for you, sir.
That's Jaws, though. Come on, Jake.
Jaws is considered the first summer blockbuster movie ever.
Yeah, but, okay, you're going back to ass and seats theory. I'm anti-ass and seats theory. I'm going movie. Like, the acting, the actresses, the director.
Are you doing that movie guy voice?
I was going for it. Did it work?
Yeah, okay. Good, yeah.
I was going for the summer blockbuster guy voice.
That was good.
This July. Hey, if anybody's looking, hey, I could do it. It's just, and Nope was attempting to be the modern Jaws. Summer blockbuster. Don't understand really what the hell's going on. Well, bam, bam. I loved it. Your bitch ass ain't even seen it yet.
Yeah, is he going to win an Oscar?
Yes.
Okay. For what? Acting? Costumes?
Screenplay.
Art direction?
Screenplay.
I think it was Sleepy Hollow won an Oscar.
I'm going to need you to fact check that, dude.
For best art direction?
Those Oscars don't count.
They do count.
I mean, to the people that art directed it, yes.
They still come on the stage. They hand them a...
Yeah, but it's in like the commercial break. Like, that's not even the shit you get to watch. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, we handed out these 15 Oscars, 3 of which were horror movies, but it was like, best wig, Which, I mean, that was super fucking rude of me to say because, like, it takes an entire team to make a movie.
It
like,
does.
As long as, like, a part of that team gets it. I mean, everybody should be happy. Like, yeah,
you should. It's a team effort.
it is a team effort, and without one of those pieces, and if you happen to do that piece best, and you get an Oscar for it, you know.
So what? The acting didn't win.
It's kind of important.
Or the
storyline,
or
directing,
or the score. Well, best art direction. I guess I made it look really good.
Yeah, I made. What does that even mean?
I guess I had the idea to put it in this direction, art wise. So I won.
You see the poster on the wall in the background? That was me.
That was all me.
That would be set design. That doesn't even count.
Give my Oscar back.
That's another Oscar, I do believe. I'm just tired of like how did Mad Max get like fucking 20? That movie is an atrocity as far as acting skills. We could have been in that movie.
Yeah.
And, other than the name grab, we would have been fine. You just fucking sit in CGI vehicles and act like... I mean, they did a lot more practical than CGI, so that was a bad thing to say. But, I mean, it's just shit like that, man. Because I remember watching that year's Oscars, and I was like, Jesus, what the fuck? If they say Mad Max one more fucking time, I'm going to turn it off. And they said it like 7 more times. It was insanity. It's just like, dude, I don't get it. Like, ugh. And then, like, don't even get me started on best supporting actors. That never goes to the right person. Ever. It took Leonardo DiCaprio how long to get an Oscar? I know this isn't horror, but I'm just saying the Oscars are fucked. The super favoritism, man. And the fact that Leo didn't even get favoritism, he's like their bread and butter. He's exactly what they want to fucking promote. And he still wasn't winning.
Like, nah.
That just did. The Oscars don't make any sense.
And then people say he got like a pity Oscar.
He did.
Well, all right, well.
Because, I mean, that movie was good. The Revenant was...
Yeah, but...
He's
made better
multiple better movies.
Yeah.
I think that director at the time was really just hot. Because he did Birdman and he did that. I can't say his name, but it's really good.
I don't know.
I mean, there's, Hereditary. The mom in that movie should have gotten a supporting.
Yeah.
Unbelievably good.
She was really good.
Unbelievably good. You got Midsommar, who I honestly feel like...
So,
she should have gotten it.
Lead actress from Midsommar was nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
The same year.
Oh, that Midsommar came out?
Yeah.
For another movie?
Yeah. And she got nothing for that movie at all.
Yeah. They're like, wait. Do we see here that you are also in a horror film this year? We cannot include you in the fucking shit box of a award show that the Oscars are.
But one day, a movie will be made, and it'll sweep the Oscars.
Not horror. Until we get them geezers out of there.
Yeah, I mean, Silence of the Lambs won 5 that year.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So
what year was that?
I think it was 92. I think
that was 1. Yeah. Yeah. I would never have gotten to witness that.
So, hey, it's possible.
Anything's possible if you put your mind to it. Directors of horror movie directors.
I mean, it is true.
You need to be better. All right. We're gonna get a podcaster award one day.
Is there like a podcast awards?
There's a bunch, dude. I almost paid for one for us, but I was like, that's just like $500 and nobody knows who we are.
Maybe we'll get nominated.
That would be cool.
Well,
I don't know how, but like that would be cool. Like, what if like Apple?
It'll be horror, so we won't win.
Yeah. What if like Apple called us one day and they were like, "Hey, J Squared, you guys are like doing some shit. You guys want to come like sit and clap? You're not winning shit, but like we'll definitely have you on the camera as like best original podcast content idea." Because I still have yet to find a podcast that sounds like ours. Falls into the originality stuff, We're sitting here willing to die on our heels. So I respect you, horror directors, for never changing your ways. Sticking to it. Sticking it to the Oscar man. Because, like Rob Zombie said. You just got to do you, man. That wasn't the exact word. But, it's the context of which.
Yeah.
I'd rather
I don't think you can say like someone said and then just
botch it. Yeah. Like I thought I heard from Rob Zombie at one point from another podcast. Sometimes you just got to stick to your guns and do what you do regardless of the whether it's like an award or like money. Sometimes you just gotta stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what horror. Maybe that's the silver lining in this entire episode, is that horror refuses to conform to the masses, so they'll never get an Oscar. And you know what? Fuck yeah, I'm behind it.
Good.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm behind it too. It's good to be original.
Like music, there's a lot of great musicians out there who will never get a Grammy.
Yeah, but they love what they do.
And they do it.
People love what they do.
Yeah.
So it makes it all worthwhile. Like this podcast.
And people love it.
Some people do, yeah.
You could have just been gung-ho with me for a second.
No. Honesty.
The 10 to 50s of you out there, the 10s of 50s of you out there, listen to the J Squared Horror Podcast.
But honestly, like when we first started, we said we didn't care if we had what? 2?
We didn't say, two. We said us. And now we critique everything we do.
But we keep doing it. We've got no accolades from it.
Oh, whoa. We topped in at what? On the Apple Podcast list? 217?
Yeah.
Yay. We dropped significantly since then.
Have we?
We're not even on the top 200 anymore.
Damn.
Yeah, I checked recently. It hurt my soul.
Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for keeping us Oscar nominations over here.
Yeah, so we'll just change the podcast up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll become the True Crime Podcast, because that's all that
Dude, those
freaking matters.
True crime podcasts are everywhere.
And people love them.
They do love them.
That's it. We're doing the spicy noodle episode.
Oh, shit.
Courtney, that was for you.
But
That's all I got, man.
yeah. That's all I have a dad joke.
Hit me.
All right. What did one plate say to the other plate?
No idea.
Dinner's on me.
Well, guys, he did promise you another dad joke.
Oh, boy.
On the next episode, and you got it. So, as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in every week to the J Squared Horror Podcast. We are two lifelong horror fans that decide to talk about anything and everything that pops into our head the day before we record an episode. And we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Like and subscribe, like you said earlier. Thanks to all of our supporters, Jeff Balance, who does our design work, Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music, and Trademark Printing, who does all of our printing needs.
Is that it?
That's all we got, buddy. This is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name is Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great week. And remember, it's hip to be squared.